Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here. Welcome to another Higan video. So, we've just had the download open for the Global's full release. Of course, the server is not ready yet. That will be on the 6th or the 7th, depending on where you are in the world. But we're going to take a look at the reroll process involved because it is a bit tricky. As you know, I'm a mobile game veteran, and this reroll is going to be slightly different from a usual guest login or salted email because they have removed the guest login options and salted emails don't work. If you type in the salted email with your usual +1 for the Gmail, if you type in anything, it does not work. It recognizes it as an alias, and even if you do the usual dot method, it does not work as well. So they've completely blocked that. So essentially, you need to set up multiple Gmails or emails to make this work, and actually it's limited to these domains. So unfortunately, it is not very friendly in that regard. However, if you are still looking to reroll to get that perfect start, I'll show you how to do this, and I'll show you which banners you should be rolling for and who you should be rolling for. So let's take a look at the reroll process for Higan Global. And before we dive any deeper into this reroll video, I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, and thank you BlueStacks for sponsoring this video. As you can see, I'm playing this game on BlueStacks with over 120 FPS, and it's looking crystal clear. And of course, the reroll process is much easier with BlueStacks. You'll see how I use and record a macro system while I'm running my reroll so that I can run up to 8 to 10 different instances when I'm not recording to do the rerolls. And of course, this is all recorded, so you can just reset and do another reroll once you have another account to log in with. And you will be able to hopefully reroll the characters you need in just about 10 or 20 minutes, because the macro records, of course, the entire reroll process with a click of a button, so you can just press it and all 8 instances can roll for you every 10 minutes without you doing anything. And you can see here, I've got 4 set up, and hopefully your pulls are as good as mine, and blessed be your pulls, and you will get the SSRs that you need. So thank you again, BlueStacks, for sponsoring this video. Please do use my affiliate link down in the description to try out BlueStacks, and it supports the channel as well. Now you have BlueStacks installed. What you can do now is set up multi-instances. So if you go to the right side of the BlueStacks emulator, you'll see that there is a hamburger stack at the bottom second last icon. Click on that, you'll be able to set up multiple instances to run the app. Depending on your specs, of course, you can run multiple copies, and then after that just run a game. However, the first time you run it through, please set up a macro. As you can see in this sped up video, you run a macro. It's the play like button on the 4th in the 4th slot on the right side, shortcuts. You set it up. That means any subsequent rerolls, you'll be essentially running the macro. You don't have to click the play button and then run that macro, and it'll run the entire reroll process for you. You don't have to do anything. It's just that you save some time, because you don't want to do this whole thing 10 minutes over and over again. And of course, the button below the play button on the BlueStacks sidebar is the sync button. So when you have multiple instances, you can run one macro and sync everything together. All right. Unfortunately, we have to do this because it's not an ideal reroll on this game. So we gotta do what we can. So after you go through all the story, you'll reach a tutorial pull. So it's guaranteed that you get the tutorial pull unit, because it is part of, obviously, the interruption guide that they'll teach you how to interrupt enemy skills. But once you've done that single pull, wait, because now you're at the first part of the reroll, which is the wish interface, the wish page, the gacha page, and you can actually begin your part 1 of the reroll process there. Alright, so this is where we will end up finally after the tutorial, and trust me, with a macro and multi-instance, this is going to be pretty fast, because you can obviously do something else while BlueStacks does all the work for you. So for the reroll part, this is actually part 1. There is another component which you can reroll a bit deeper, but most of the people, I think, should probably consider this as their first stop point for reroll. And I go through why. You have about quite a few banners when we first start. You have the guaranteed beginner's SSR, so discounted 20 rolls, and you're guaranteed at least one SSR character. You have the Aluya banner, and Aluya is an assassin type unit that has a really good boss damage output, super strong, and she just got buffed as well before the full release, so she has now has lifesteal as part of her kit. This is general pool. Don't do this. And there's also the defender, the tank, Gildan as part of the pool. In my honest opinion, because you have the 6k currency here and you can only use this 6k currency on this banner, do it on the Luya banner. This is again part 1 of the reroll, because you cannot access the mail, which means you don't have access to any of the free currencies, the pulls that they give you, so you can only reroll here. Okay, I would probably reroll until I get Luya from this 20 pulls, or if you get a really good other SSR, because again it's not guaranteed, then you can think about, you know, how to do your next step in terms of reroll. But let's do the part 1, which is 20 pulls here on the Luya banner. So you get some cool animation. I'm just gonna skip because I've seen it multiple times. And ooh, very nice. We got a Fene. This is Fene, isn't it? So we got an SSR. She's okay. She's all right. I think I personally really like her design. But in this reroll, I want to get Aluya ideally, if at all possible. But it's okay. That's fine. At least we got an SSR, right? We at least got an SSR. That's a win in my book. So this is part 1, right? This is part 1 of the reroll. And you can see the pity redeem allows you, okay, the 2 banners are shared. It allows you to use this all together. So a lot of people for the start, they actually go for Luya and then they switch, they try to pull a tank to make their starting team. Okay, that's how they do it. So I'm going to show you the second part of the reroll, which unfortunately you have to go through 1-1, because here I'm going to show you, if you go to the homepage and try to access the mail, you cannot. So you have to do 1-1, but there is a way to make it so that you don't have to do 1-2 at all. So let's go through 1-1. We'll probably fast forward this, and you just follow through the instructions. It's teaching you how to use interrupt skills, so you just want to do that, and it's straightforward. Now we'll skip forward to 2-2. I mean 1-2. Alright, so 1-1 is complete. It'll tell you to carry on, still part of the tutorial, and you move towards 1-2. However, there's a little trick, okay? You just deploy, you just go, you ignore the rest of the tutorial, and you close everything, and you click on the cogwheel, and you quit. Now, you get a full refund on your stamina, and you get to skip out on the rest of the tutorial. Now you can access the mail and all these logins. So, because we've met all the milestones, you're gonna have a lot of pulls available. And of course, we get a free SSR Media, who is a very good early to mid-game AoE damage dealer, and partly why I say go reroll, of course, for the single target Aluya, because, you know, it makes your single damage and AoE covered with both SSRs. Now, we have some choices. You currently, okay, this is the soft launch, you currently have enough currency to roll twice on the beginner's banner. Unfortunately, I cannot roll twice on the Gildan banner with this amount. However, I do believe when the global release happens, you should have, and I'll update in the comments, in the pinned comments, you should have enough currency to roll whatever the pickup banner is for the event. So we know it's Surslet as per closed beta or soft launch. Hopefully it's going to be Surslet as well when the game releases. Surslet is a super strong bruiser that I wonder if I can show it here. No, I cannot access the I don't think I can say, here we go. Actually, Surslet is here. So this should be, all right, the rate up potentially on day 2, so if you wanted to reroll on day 2, it's definitely not a bad choice. But if you're on day 1, I don't know what rate up it will be on the first day, but it should not be retouch. So you have a choice to either roll for 20 beginner's banners to guarantee 1 SSR and go with whatever SSR, or you can start rolling 20 pulls on Gildan, because a tank is going to be pretty damn helpful. So for me personally, okay, because I don't have enough currency, I will do the beginner's banner. But for a lot of you guys, maybe this is the better call, because of course the pity will build up from there. So you'll be at 40 after you do 20 pulls, and the beginner banner will not go away, so you can keep pulling that. Now the pool for the beginner banner is quite small. You don't have all of the SSRs. I don't know if this will change. Siamcom is pretty much an endgame unit, super strong mage, but beginning, he's going to be a bit lacking. Gildan again the tank, and Nuno the healer. So media is a free unit that we get. You may not want to spend it on the beginner's pool. I'm just going to do it right here to show you as part of the reroll. But honestly, if there is a pickup banner such as Surslit, or if you want to try your luck on the Gildan banner, that would be probably better, because this does not go away. But let's do the pulls. Right, here we go. And we didn't get SSR in the first 10, but we will secure a guaranteed SSR right here. And also, you might actually have enough currency to do pulls on the beginner's banner at full release, and have more currency to do pulls on the rate up banner as well. So who did we get? We got Basil. All right, the one I did not want. But anyhow, this is a quick reroll guide. Again, it's really unfortunate that there's no guest system, so pretty much you have to do an email login, and you can't even use the dot or the plus alias because they disabled that. However, hopefully with multi-instancing and the BlueStacks, this is going to be very, very straightforward for you. And I wish you all the best. Good luck.